makes the perfect village? And why do we as a nation love them so much?
Is it the scenery? The buildings? Or is it our love of good old British eccentricity? From rural villages to seaside settlements, in this series we're scouring the country for the very best.
Isn't that lovely? Beautiful, beautiful houses. What a wonderful sound. We've drawn up a short list of contenders who'll compete against each other in heats before going through to the semi-finals.
We have the best cliffs in the whole of Britain.
Well, that's a ringing endorsement of the village, isn't it? From the semis, it's on to the final, when one village will be crowned Village of the Year and win £10,000.
In today's heat, it's all about jigging with the locals, digging with the Betties.
There's as much gossip as gardening going on, is there? That's right.
Cruising in the Cheshire rush hour.
Hello.
And playing with a magnificent organ.
Gosh, that was wonderful, Alan. Welcome to Village of the Year, where we will crown one village the very best of what village life has to offer.
We've had applicants from across the land, from the cliffs of Yorkshire to the highlands of Scotland, from the sleepy Cotswolds to the wild west of Wales. To decide which contender will ultimately be crowned Village of the Year winner, we've enlisted 3 expert judges to make the tough decisions. Archaeologist and village historian Alex Langlands.
That is a sight I think I'll never tire of.
Chelsea gold medalist and village dweller Juliet Sargent.
Oh, that's very smooth.
And craft expert Patrick Grant.
Flippin' heck, that's a decent size.
In each heat, we'll profile 4 villages each day, with one going through to the semis, before the competition culminates in the grand finale, when the winner of Village of the Year will be crowned.
Today, we are in Village of the Year's central zone, made up of some spectacular counties, from Lincolnshire to Herefordshire and Cheshire to County Antrim. The first of today's villages was home during World War II to the legendary RAF Dam Busters Squadron, and still thrives on that heritage.
But that's not the only thing going for it. Woodhole Spa in Lincolnshire is tucked away on the southern edge of the outstandingly beautiful Lincolnshire Wolds.
I think Woodhole Spa should be Village of the Year because it has everything. It has a heritage of people who came here for the season to go to the baths, and now people are still visiting this beautiful village.
Beautifully laid out along these tree-lined streets, Woodhall Spa is one of the finest examples of an Edwardian garden village.
This vibrant village made its way onto the shortlist thanks to its upholding of village traditions and the annual celebration of its wartime role.
I travelled down from Manchester for the weekend to come enjoy this lovely village.
One of the fabulous Edwardian buildings was requisitioned during the war by the RAF, and it's the link with World War II that keeps the visitors coming today. The annual Woodhall Spa 1940s festival attracts thousands of visitors from up and down the country. But long before the Dam Busters Squadron was the headline attraction, it was the spa that drew visitors in, giving the village its name. It all started by accident in the early 1800s, when a local man found a natural spring of mineral-rich water. The lord of the manor spotted the chance to make some money, and a spa was born, with Edwardian visitors swiftly flocking to take its medicinal waters. The spa may no longer be curing ailments, but water still provides relief to the locals at the village 1930s Lido. The Lido is now owned and run by the Village, after it was threatened with closure a couple of years ago.
Ooh, wonderful.
Amaryllis is a passionate Lido user.
Because you're born and bred in
I am
Woodhall Spa.
indeed, yes.
How wonderful, how lovely. And how long has this been here?
This has been here since 1935. It's very well supported. It's a facility for the whole area, really.
Right,
And we have people coming for miles to swim. I swam the other morning. A lady had come from the other side of Grantham. She'd driven an hour to swim here.
That's extraordinary,
And because
isn't
it's
it?
such a beautiful and unique pool and the lovely atmosphere.
Yes, it is. It's gorgeous. You started swimming as a young one?
Yes, I was 6 months old. Of my first photographs at the swimming pool, and I was 6 months old.
You were thrown in?
Yeah, practically.
Okay, swim.
And it wasn't heated then.
Oh, gosh. The pool is important to the village. What is its great importance to you?
There are two things, really. On the one hand, it's absolutely the part of Woodhall's identity, but on the other, personally, it's enabled me to get swimming quickly again after recovering from cancer on my spine, which was a secondary from breast cancer. So I came last season on sticks, and within a few weeks I was swimming and the sticks went.
Well, I think it's splendid, and long may you, A, be very healthy.
Thank you.
And encourage more and more people to swim.
Absolutely. Well, that's what we try to do.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Terrific way to start the day. Swim in this beautiful pool. And how fascinating to know it's not only wonderful exercise, it's recuperative as well.
Half a mile away and tucked in the woods is another splendid example of the village's Edwardian heritage that helped it earn its place on our shortlist. It's beautifully preserved, so-called kinema. It's the country's last surviving rear projection screen and comes complete with its own organist and a magnificent hand-painted organ. Entertaining the kinema goers is Alan.
Gosh, that was wonderful, Alan. How often do you play your beautiful music machine?
It's guaranteed every Saturday evening, but during busy times it can be every afternoon and every evening.
Right, but they're not all silent movies you show here.
No, it's all the up-to-date films as well.
Right, so you play in the interval, do you?
Yes, that's right.
But is this a wonderful example of its kind?
It is. It's unusual because of the painted console. Originally installed in 1927 in the Super Cinema in Charing Cross Road.
Oh, really?
And it was taken out of there in the 60s, put into storage, and then brought here in 1987 and installed and has been played ever since.
It's unusual for a village to have its own cinema now, and it's extraordinary that it still exists, isn't it?
It is, but the kinema is a bit different because of the unusual decoration, also the Compton organ, because it's bringing back what cinema used to be like years ago, which many people don't remember. From 1989 I've played regularly here for shows, and then one of the first films I played the interval for was Memphis Belle.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
What did you play?
Dam Busters. And I've been
Of
playing it ever
course.
since.
Bravo. Well, long may you continue. It's
Thank you.
Splendid. Thank you very much. Reminds me of my youth when there used to be entertainment in the intermission in cinemas. And how wonderful to know there's someone like Alan who's carrying the tradition along in a village, and all the villagers enjoy it.
The residents of Woodhole Spa, like our judges, take preserving heritage seriously. In 1991, they succeeded in getting the late Victorian and Edwardian heart of the village designated a conservation area. Doing their bit to preserve local heritage are local butchers, Russell and Sadie, who use a traditional Victorian recipe to make their award-winning sausages.
What are you making?
I'm making a hand-raised pork pie.
And do you make the pastry yourself?
I do, hot water pastry, from scratch. I'm a first-generation butcher, 'cause I happen to marry one. So I'm the baker, Russell's the butcher.
Oh, I see.
I'm first generation. I started in 1978.
So you know the secret of Lincolnshire sausages?
I was given the secret.
Oh.
Yes.
And
yes.
sworn to secrecy?
Well, yes. I mean, I'm the only one now surviving who knows the particular recipe that I use.
We're on the main street, and I believe you have a 40s festival.
We do.
Do you keep open?
Yes, we're open all over that weekend. The festival's in its 5th year,
Right.
but in such a short period of time, it's grown to be one of the biggest 40s festivals in the country, I should think.
Really?
The whole village is turned over to 1940s styles.
Woodhole Spa's 1940s festival is another thing that put the village on the map.
It's a celebration of the home front, and it's a bit of fun, and it's nostalgia, and it's just got a bit of everything.
Today it's great to obviously see all the villagers get involved and really pull together to make it look like a beautiful place and a beautiful event and really take you back to that wartime era.
Let's go! It's not just Dad's army, though. The whole village turns back time, with the shops competing in style, each transforming their window displays with a 1940s homage.
I'm one of 3 judges, and we go around all the shops and the restaurants. We look at the staff, we look at the displays in the windows, how much they've got into the spirit of the thing, how much effort's gone into it, how much imagination. Oh, look at this window. This is absolutely fabulous. Now that is very, very clever.
With battle reenactments, vintage vehicles, period dresses, and the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight, this village pulls out all the stops and pulls in 10 times its population for its annual 40s shindig. This, I'm sure, will impress our judges.
Woodhole Spa, a village without a spa, but a wonderful swimming pool, a butcher with a secret recipe, and a cinema that entertains the locals with this wonderful organ and someone to carry on a terrific tradition. All this helps the village to thrive.
But will this vibrant village have enough verve to see off the next Village of the Year competitor from the Cotswolds, where judge and village historian Alex gets led a merry dance? Or a village in Northern Ireland where Juliet dishes the dirt?
I see, there's as much gossip as gardening going on, is there?
That's right.
We're investigating the nooks and crannies of the UK for Village of the Year. Today, it's our latest heat. From the central zone, we're profiling 4 villages from Lincolnshire to the Cotswolds and from Cheshire to County Antrim in Northern Ireland. Then the judges will decide which of these villages will make it into the semi-finals.
Upholding village traditions is an important consideration for our competing villages. The next contender in today's heat has a history of Morris dancing, stretching back over 350 years.
The Warwickshire village of Illington is on the northernmost tip of the Cotswolds in a designated area of outstanding natural beauty.
This is a wonderful, wonderful village. I mean, gorgeous, lovely people. Oh, we feel very blessed to be here.
I think Illington's special. It's a beautiful place to live. Everybody is doing something for somebody else. There's everything that anybody could wish for.
This picturesque honey-coloured village of 700 centres around its 3 streets with a splendid variety of buildings: ironstone houses, thatched cottages, tilestone roofs and a Norman church. But it's not just the architecture. Illington also made its way onto our shortlist, in part because of its enduring tradition of Morris dancing. Village historian and judge Alex Langlands is in the village to meet Morris dancer Paul.
It's quite an outfit you've got on there.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we're just getting ready to do a
Bit of a dance.
Of a traditional Morris dance.
A traditional Morris dance, yes. You couldn't come to a better place to see it, though. Illington is one of the villages where there's a long, steep tradition of Morris dancing.
Right, so how far back does it go then?
For about 350 years now.
Right, OK. And what's your connection with it then?
Well, today and over recent years, I've become the fool.
Do you put yourself forward for that, or do other people put you forward for it?
I wasn't nominated. No, I was.
You actively
yes,
pursued this role.
I volunteered to step forward, and everybody else stepped back, as it were. The history of Morris has obviously gone back to about the time of the Crusades.
Right.
Because
okay.
that's where we believe that Morris came from, as Moorish dancing.
Moorish dancing.
How tall are you?
6 foot.
Yeah, 6 foot. Well, we've got some 6-foot bells.
Well, lead the way then.
OK, yeah, come have a go.
Of course, like the origins of many other traditions, it's tricky to find evidence that proves one way or the other how it started.
So we'll teach you the chorus movement, which is the hand clapping bit. That goes just below your knee.
Just below the knee,
yeah? Not on your thigh. These wouldn't work on him.
Right, hat as well.
There you go, you can swap.
OK. Well, I'm starting to feel the part now.
Is that it?
Oh, right.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3. 1,
clap,
2,
right knee,
3.
right hand, clap,
1, 2,
left knee,
3.
left hand. OK, then clap again, under the right knee, clap again, under the left knee.
That's your right knee. Yeah, right first, then left.
I was wondering whether you spot that.
Let's see if he can get through a whole shepherd's hay, eh?
OK, ready?
On the spot, turn out. Just on the spot. One, 2, 3. Hurry up. All around. Round again. This way. Keep it. Go for it. Arms in the air. Hey, well done, that man.
It may look a bit silly, grown men skipping with bells on, but there's an old adage, don't knock it till you've tried it.
I think I'll leave that to you, Alex. Throughout the summer, the Illington Morris dancers put on weekly performances, including a parade through the village in June. But there's more to Illington upholding a village tradition than men dancing around with bells on their legs. The streets here remind us how all villages used to be, as Illington has held off installing street lighting. No ugly street furniture cluttering up the village here. In fact, there's not even that many streets.
What I like about the heart of this village is that actually it's all about the footpaths. You normally get roads leading to the centre of the village, but here I've got a path that's brought me all the way down to the church, another path off there, another path off there, and I think I'm going to go and try that one next.
Alex's yellow brick road leads to the Elizabethan Manor house, standing in 12 acres of land at the centre of the village, and village life since 1590. Current custodian, Martin.
Hello, Martin.
Morning to you.
His uncle bequeathed him the house as a birthday present.
Alex, they come in. Welcome in here.
Wow.
This is the little entrance hall to the house. My grandfather, Spencer Flower, he bought this with his wife. They got married in 1911. And the house has been used for lots of village things ever since, really. This is the Spanish chest taken from one of the Spanish ships after the Armada in 1588. And that lock is a single lock on one key, a hidden keyhole, and it turns 13 locks. So whatever they'd put in this chest, whether it was pay for the crew or whatever, would have been pretty secure.
The house is absolutely full of these things, Martin.
Well, it's not full of treasure chests, but it's full of all sorts of nonsense. I had a great aunt that when people were away in church, she used to eat squirrels, Great Aunt Florence, and she decided to paint the fruit going round the ceiling. It's the kind of thing you do when you eat squirrels. And it's rather good, isn't it?
That's lovely.
His great aunt used to eat squirrels. Well, it takes all sorts.
Oh, well, let's have a look at some of these other rooms then. So what have you done to the house then, Martin?
Well, when my uncle gave it to me in 1988 as a 39th birthday present, he said there are no strings attached to the present, but then the roof's not attached to the house.
Right.
So I re-roofed the whole place. It took a couple of years. There's nearly half an acre of roof. Before I did the roof, there were 30 buckets up there, which a chap used to come in every day and move them round after it had been raining.
Because the thing is with manor houses, sometimes they can be really shut off from the village. But it's great to think that actually you've got a place here that people can come in and see.
Yeah, well, I'm a very lucky chap. I mean, I was given this by a very kind uncle, and he always shared it with everybody, and I would too.
Yeah. That's a lovely philosophy. A lovely philosophy in a lovely house as well.
Martin opens his gardens to the public, keeping the manor at the centre of village life. And, like the Morris dancing, this reminds us a village's history doesn't have to be preserved in aspic. Illington has an apple day, and an embroidered map hanging in the church shows where all the small village orchards once were, helping maintain the link with the village's heritage. And it doesn't stop there.
This is a nice artefact, this is a fragment of a basin which was used to catch water from the springs, many of which rise in the hills around here, and it's an indication of why many of the villages were located where they are.
Illington's location was perfect not only for orchards, and thus cider, but sheep farming and the profitable wool trade. While neither are as big as they once were, the community shop and cafe maintains links with both. The shop, owned and run by the villagers, is managed by Michelle.
Hi, Alex.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Great timing. I've got some work for you.
Right, good. Always like to be put to work.
We're going to sort out this local produce table.
Right, oh, OK.
We've got a lady in the next village who makes cakes.
Whiskey marmalade, very nice.
We've got a Grumpy Frog cider, which is made in Ilmington from Ilmington apples.
That appeals. So basically, all of the needs of the village are catered for here, aren't
Yes. The plan is that we have the basics at the best possible price, but then we have really nice local produce as well.
I mean, the one thing I think when I walk into here, I see a building that doesn't look like it was designed to be a shop.
No, it was originally built as a Catholic school.
Right.
And then converted to the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
And then in 2013 it closed and became the shop eventually.
I mean, this is more than a shop, though,
yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's owned by the community.
Yeah.
349 members in a village of 700 residents.
That's really good, isn't it?
One of the great things that we have done is that we've managed to keep the bell, which is the old school-cum-church bell.
Okay.
So when you spend £30, you get to ring the bell.
That everyone in the village who's got shares goes,
Aha!
Another 30 quid spent. There we go. There's no doubt in my mind that Ilmington has many of the credentials to make it Village of the Year. And it's got this friendly kind of open house feel to it. But I think what I like most of all about this place is that it's got a sense of humour. This is very much a village that doesn't take itself too seriously.
This is my dream. A little village somewhere pretty, where the people are always friendly.
Ilmington is today's second contender. But will its Morris men, dark streets, Elizabethan manor house and wonderful community shop win it a spot in the semi-final? Or will a village in Northern Ireland be the one that moves a step closer to the title of Village of the Year, where Juliet discovers regeneration?
Look at this. I'm amazed by the variety of shops and outlets.
Or a village in Cheshire, where Patrick proves himself a dab hand with a brush.
These railings won't paint themselves.
We're celebrating the finest villages the UK has to offer, and at the end of this series, we'll be crowning one Village of the Year. Today's heat is focusing on 4 villages in our central zone. So far, we've seen 2 close-knit communities.
Our 3 judges will have to decide which of the villages in today's heat goes through to the semi-finals. They'll have a tough task.
Next, our 3rd contender, Brushane, on the River Bred, in Northern Ireland. The shared agricultural past of the area regularly brings Brusheners together. They celebrate not one, but 2 agricultural shindigs each year.
It's a farming agricultural community, so it is a very close-knit community.
The vibrant bunch living in this green-fingered village have given welly to petal power. Garden designer and judge Juliet Sargent couldn't wait to investigate this floral utopia.
Known as the Garden Village of Ulster, and with the motto People, Plants and Pride growing together, Brushane has won over 75 awards, and around 8,000 annual flowers have been planted this year alone.
Brushane is a beautiful place to live. We're nestled in the Braid Valley, just at the foot of the beautiful Slemish Mountain. And with the backdrop of the lovely greenery, now the community have built this fantastic array of flowers in the village.
Brushane is really full of flowers. I think that's the thing that you notice most whenever you come into the village. It's absolutely gorgeous.
It's true, there's hardly a corner that's not blooming in Brushane. And it's all thanks to the villagers who live here, because it's maintained by a crack team of volunteers. Like the 3 Bettys.
Hello, ladies. I understand you're all called Betty.
Yes, Betty 3.
Oh, Betty, I was going to say, how do I distinguish? Betty 3, Betty 1. Betty 1, and hello, Betty 2.
Yes.
So how long have you been doing this?
Well, I've only 13 years done. Betty here, she has lots more.
I'm stopped counting. We enjoy it. It's good crack and good fun.
Catch up on the local gossip.
Oh, I see. I see. There's as much gossip as gardening going on, is there? So why is it that the Brusheners feel that the appearance of the village is so important?
A farming community at the background, and that means a lot, I think. They like to see everything growing and flourishing.
Yeah.
Like all farmers do.
What work can you put me to?
Do you want to use these here?
Oh, OK. I'll do some edging. A tidy edge makes all the difference, doesn't it?
You think our village is very nice then?
I do. With my professional eye, I think it looks absolutely lovely. And not just this bed. There's flowers everywhere and colour.
And we are volunteers.
Do good, feel good. Fantastic. I love it. Why do you think Brushane should win Village of the Year?
It's homely and everybody's friendly.
They're funny, they're industrious.
It's so beautiful, lots of nice flowers. Just a perfect wee village to live in.
And of course the people are the village. What more do you want?
Hear, hear. It's not just Brushane's Bloomin' Bettys that got it onto the Village of the Year shortlist. The civic pride here is apparent all around. The village is home to both a waterfowl and wildlife centre, and Riverside Path, landscaped to offer a lush 2-mile circular village walk. Juliet's companions today look after and plan for the village's future. They are Brushane Association's Valerie and Lexi.
This is such a quiet spot. It's lovely. It's quite a contrast.
Well, I mean, the high street's just literally a couple of minutes walk away from here. A lot of hustle and bustle there. We're very proud of having our local greengrocer and our local butcher still established in the middle of the village.
We started off by using the flowers as something everybody could get involved in. We started doing these things just to tidy our village up, make it a nicer place to live, and that whole thing has snowballed. Now we're attracting in visitors who would have been passed on the way to the glens. Now they're actually stopping.
And we're very proud of our traditions and our heritage. Tradition in agricultural area, but also a strong link to the past through Slemish Mountain.
Legend has it that the Slemish Mountain is the first Irish home of St Patrick, and the Riverside Path at the foot of the mountain is a stone's throw from what was once the industrial powerhouse of Brushane, the Victorian woolen mill. Saved from demolition, the mill has gone from industrial graveyard to hub for small business startups. To show Juliet how, its co-owner and mill rescuer, Dawn.
So this is all restored?
All restored.
Wow. I can't believe it in just 4 years.
Kind of a bit mad, but it's nice to see it with a life again. We want the people who are starting out and those interests in quirky little businesses.
Yes. I'm amazed by the variety of shops and outlets.
This is why Brashean works so well. They need the community of a village and they need the small, friendly atmosphere, and that's how they grow.
The Village Mill offers these indie startups a wonderful launchpad.
Do you want to try one of our sun-dried tomato pesto parmesan?
Oh. And an indoor monthly food and craft market, the largest outside Belfast, draws yet more visitors in.
So many people do so much. It's those people which makes Brashean what it is today.
Brashean, the floral village where petals rank alongside the people who volunteer their time to make the place look pretty. And where the woolen mill has been rescued to bring in business. But will these credentials convince our judges that this village deserves a place in the semi-finals? Or could the locals of Pickmere in Cheshire give it a run for its money when they seduce Patrick with stunning lakeside tarts?
Look at that, a thing of beauty.
Before the judges reveal which village is through to the semi-finals of Village of the Year,
we're going to have one.
So far in the Central Zone heat, I was enthralled by one man and the organ in Woodhole Spa.
Gosh, that was wonderful, Alan.
Juliet helped the three Bettys dish the dirt in Brashean.
Do good, feel good. I love it.
And Alex was led a merry dance in Illington.
Hey, well done, that man.
The next village, angling for a semi-final spot in today's heat, is on a lake. For years, the crystal clear waters have attracted day trippers in their droves.
Pickmere in East Cheshire dates back to Norman times. The first reference was in the time of King John and only referred to the mere. Later, the name was given to the village as a whole.
If I could, I would bottle the village. Put it in a bottle. Pickmere Village is idyllic.
This rural idyll made it onto our shortlist because of its sublime lakeside setting. The 49-acre mere at Pickmere has been at the heart of village life for over 1,000 years.
Yes, I think the lake is probably what we would call our jewel in the crown. It is the mecca. It is the reason that people come to Pickmere.
In Pickmere's post-war heyday, 10,000 trippers arrived every week during the summer months. Now the village is home to 700 residents, and our crafts expert, Patrick, is meeting some to find out more.
It's the great beauty of this lake that's been bringing people to Pickmere for centuries. And today, it's the lake that brings the village together.
It's a village tradition that every week they congregate over a lakeside afternoon tea. Founded by the teasome twosome, Sarah and Val. What started 12 years ago as a few friends gathering for a cup of tea and a tart has become one of the village's most popular social gatherings.
How many cups of tea and how many slices of cake do you think you serve here every year?
Well, we know that we normally serve at least 100 people every Sunday, so that's quite a lot of teas and cakes.
Wow, okay.
It's a big baking rota.
And you take it in turns?
We do, yes. From the beginning of the season, everyone is sent out a rota. They all choose the dates that they're going to do. And if you're helping for that particular afternoon, then it's your job to make sure that you've got all the bakes and cakes sorted out too.
Patrick's keen to give village master baker Val a hand.
Hello, Val.
Hello.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Right.
Right.
Who wants a piece of cake?
Please can I have some chocolate cake? Some chocolate cake.
It's an enormous piece of cake, Val. So who's made all the cake?
This one is one of mine, this one.
Oh, well, that'll be the best one in the whole place then, surely. So what can I help you with?
Can I have a slice of coffee cake, please?
Coffee cake, which is this one?
Coffee cake,
That's it, right, OK, I'm getting good at this, aren't I?
You are.
Each cake sale goes back into the community kitty.
Look at that. A thing of beauty. Right. Spoon, napkin.
That's right.
That's great, thank
Voila,
you.
thank you very much.
Enjoy.
So besides teas at the lake, what else about Pickmere makes you love it so?
Oh, it is a beautiful place to live.
Yeah.
And everybody, young and old, now seem to have blended.
Charting the ups and downs of the village over the years is Joe, who's lived here all his life.
Joe, you are probably the greatest living historian of Pickmere.
I used to work on the boats, you know,
Yeah.
and of course it was always busy. I mean, there was a big Noah's Ark with animals on it. There was bumper cars, a ghost train. It was a lovely place for families to come and have picnics on this bank. I've got photographs of this field, and there's that many people on it, you'd have a job to find a place to sit down. And the fairground and boats were busy. I think there was 80-odd rowing boats and 35 little putt-putt motorboats.
Yeah.
And then there was the big Princess Irene that took parties of 40 and 50 round the lake, you know, on trips.
Would you like to see boats back on the lake?
I mean, I loved it when I was younger, but as I've got older, I'm quite happy that it's gone more peaceful.
The village is a haven of tranquility, and who'd thought that watching paint dry would have helped get this village onto our shortlist? But it did. The village's black and white iron railings need regular maintenance, and it's the communal dedication to this that impressed. Mike was the first to lick the village's tatty railings into shape 10 years ago.
Hello, Mike.
Hi, Patrick.
How are you?
I'm
Hard
all right.
at work.
Yeah.
Tell me about the railings that you're painting today. What's so particular about these?
Iron railings have been used throughout the country.
Yeah.
But this particular style with the curved tops is very unique to Cheshire.
Can I grab a brush
Certainly
and give you a hand? So how often do you have to repaint the railings?
Well, I actually painted these railings pretty much myself when we moved into the area.
All of
Pickmere.
these?
Yeah. It's about 400 metres.
Gosh, well, that was very industrious of you. Now, which one am I painting?
Well, we can move along a section.
Yeah.
You can start on this one, and I'll start on this one. So it's very much a community project, but I think that's one of the nice things about Pickmere, is as soon as somebody sees someone doing something, somebody else says, that looks like hard work, I'll give you a hand.
Yeah.
Whereas I suppose in a lot of places, it'd say, that looks like hard work, I'm going to the pub.
Besides the joy of painting railings, what else makes Pickmere a great place to live?
People know each other, we socialise together, we do a lot of community events. It's great for the kids, great for families, and as you can see behind me, I've got my 2 dogs with me.
Yeah.
Very dog-friendly area.
I guess we need to do a bit less chatting, a bit more railing painting. These railings won't paint themselves.
The railings hail from a time when Pickmere's agricultural industries were still key to village life and largely still relied on horsepower. A tradition that's maintained today by the likes of Steve and his steed, Bobby.
Well, Steve, thank you very much for taking me out on this glorious afternoon. How did you come to be a pony and trap man?
I got into it because when I was a dairy farmer years ago, I always said I wanted a pony and trap. When I eventually retired from it, I got into driving horses and ponies.
Hello! But the people in the village used to the sight of you and Bobby on your trap.
Yeah, I think so. Most people seem to put their hand up and wave, or are very courteous if they're in the car and I'll slow down. And the community spirit's just absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, one of the best things to do here.
The events that get put on are just incredible. It's just great to see the community pull together, you know. I mean, we have silly races and end up with a tug-of-war and all that sort of, you know, very, very villagey, really.
Bobby take part in the tug-of-war?
No. No, I think that would be a little unfair, wouldn't it? Strong smell of paint round here, Mike.
Somebody's been working. Oh, look, he's done all this since we left him an hour ago.
You're doing a great job, Mike.
Those railings seem like Pickmere's own Forth Bridge.
Thank you very much indeed, Steve.
That's quite all right. It's been a pleasure. On a day like today, a bigger pleasure than ever. Oh, Bobby.
A waterside haven creating new village traditions while maintaining and harnessing the old.
Hello!
This village is far more than a one-trick pony, but will our judges agree it's worth a place in the semis as today's heat winner? The judges have all seen what you've seen and given each a score. Time now for them to decide which is to be today's semi-finalist. I'm not judging, but will be keeping an eye on their deliberations. The contenders are Woodhall Spa in Lincolnshire with its 1940s festival and Edwardian kinema. The Morris men in Elizabethan Manor House of Illington in the Cotswolds. Brashane in Northern Ireland, where petals and people are as important as one another. And Cheshire's Pickmere, with its lakeside heritage taking a new direction with cream teas.
We have 4 very different villages to talk about. And the first one was when I went to Lincolnshire, Woodhall Spa, whose claim to fame, of course, it was really in the centre of Bomber Command, and so it's got a great attachment with the Lancaster bombers in the Second World War, and a wonderful kinema in the woods. And there's a wonderful man there who still plays the organ in the kinema, and lots of harping back to the 40s. It was very interesting. Were you interested in Woodhall Spa?
I have been to Woodhall Spa many, many times. It feels way more than a village to me. It feels like a thriving small town.
You went to Illington, and what did you think, Alex?
I really enjoyed Illington. I really like the location. It is tucked away there in the Cotswold Hills. It looks beautiful, lovely stone there. And I think the thing I enjoyed most of all was the Morris dancing, which even I was surprised about.
The next one was Brashane in Northern Ireland. Juliet, Brashane.
Well, yes. There once were 3 ladies of Brashane. Betty 1, 2 and 3 was their name. Every day they'd plant flowers in sun, snow and showers. Winning Village of the Year was their aim.
Bravo. That's lovely, bravo.
I found Brashane absolutely inspiring. The 3 Bettys volunteer so much of their time, and this voluntary activity has spurred commercial activity, so it's brought prosperity to the village. I think it's a winner. I'm sorry, I've got to say it.
Fine, now, Pickmere. Patrick.
Yes. Pickmere in Cheshire, which is a village whose whole history has been dominated by the mere. Most of the village activity is based around this lake. It is really a real focal point for the village.
Right. Well, the 3 of you have now got to choose which one should go through to the semi-final.
I just have reservations about Woodhall Spa. I just feel like we're dealing with a slightly different entity here. And it scores very highly for me on activities.
Oh, yes.
But then it's more of a town. It's a spa town.
Well, no, I mean, in defence of Woodhall Spa, it is a village. Officially, it is a village, so you can't discount it because you think it's a town.
Well, Pickmere, the big issue I have with Pickmere is that really the village is focused on this beautiful lake, and, the lake, mere is in the name of the village, but there are so many restrictions on the usage of it. You can see people itching to get onto the water and enjoy themselves, and it just holds it back.
Let's talk about Illington.
Why do you talk about Illington?
With Illington, I felt it's a lovely traditional village with everything going on. Fantastic Morris dancing.
He can't.
But
I wasn't the maddest person there, actually. But sorry, you weren't sure.
I'm not sure there's anything that particularly unique. I don't think it stands out as a winner.
Our judges seem to be going in one direction.
Right, so Alex, what are you thinking?
I think what we're looking at here is, for me, a clear winner in Brashane because of what's going on, and there was just so much. Not only the restored mill, the village walk, the wildlife reserve, everything there for me was just hitting every category. and scoring highly.
Well, it's Brashane for you. I take it Brashane for you. Patrick?
No, I agree with Alex. You know, I've written so many notes. There are so many good things that I've written down about this village. I think that's the winner for me too.
So, a village where life has been breathed back into derelict buildings and volunteering has brought colour and visitors to the high street.
A unanimous decision. Brashane, you're a semi-finalist.
Well, we're just delighted for the village, for the community on a whole.
Brashane definitely has what it takes to win Village of the Year. There is nowhere better.
Look out, here comes Brashane.
Next time, it's the third of our semi-finals.
This carrion lark is all well and good, but I think I prefer the drinking part.
Competition heats up.
That was quite scary.
And this week's Central Zone winners...
It's so beautiful, lots of nice flowers, just a perfect wee village to live in.
battle it out for a place in the final.
I think it's fantastic that Brashane has made it through to the semi-finals.
We learn more about each village.
The village has got wow factor. Let's just have a wow factor here.
And find out which village is in the running to win £10,000 and be crowned Village of the Year.
Which is going to be chosen as a finalist.
Things do get really tricky now, don't they?
Mm-hmm. Yes, they always do.
They get very tricky.
The time has come, my friends. It's been a marvellous day today, but I am now going to leave you to decide which of these four wonderful, fabulous villages is going to be crowned Village of the Year. Good luck.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm absolutely racked with anxiety about this. It's going to be really tough.
Do you go with the village that has all the natural attributes, or do you go with a village that has fewer of those natural attributes, but is punching so far above its weight and everybody is doing its very best to make it somewhere very special? And I think that's a really difficult decision.
The sun's going down. I don't know how long it's going to take. I certainly don't envy them that job. But we're all waiting here with bated breath.
Before today started, I couldn't pick one amongst them. I think having gone through everything and met them all, I now have two that for me stand slightly above the others.
They are both villages that have turned themselves around. So they're both very, very forward-looking, energetic villages.
We've got this real get-up-and-go spirit here.
Where are they going to have a better time? I mean, is it
better time to visit or better time to live?
I think this one really does have more to offer.
It's incredibly difficult, but I'm leaning towards a favourite at the moment.
It's so difficult.
It's clearly been a tough one, but it looks as though they've made up their minds.
Happy? Let's hand us over to Penny then.
Dear villagers, as you know, the time has come to find out which of our four finalists has won Village of the Year. Now, for me, you're all winners, and I thank you so much for all the efforts you've made. But I, like you, am waiting with bated breath to find out the decision of our three wonderful judges. What's it been like, Juliet?
Well, first of all, I'd just like to thank you all for welcoming us so warmly. You've all been great representatives.
And you are all, without exception, phenomenal.
And we cannot tell you how difficult it has been to arrive at this decision. Here we go, Penny.
Ooh. Well, thank you for everything you've done and all the efforts you've put into this grand final, which has been truly grand. We've all had a marvellous time, haven't we? I won't put it off any longer. The Village of the Year is Brashane.
Absolutely unreal. It's just absolutely fantastic, really.
Congratulations to everyone in Brasheen, because everyone played their part. It's such an honour. Amazing!
It's been incredibly difficult to judge between the villages, but I'm delighted that Brasheen has come out on top.
The people of Brasheen have got heart and passion and commitment and a unity that shines through.
Brasheen has come out as the village that really, really pulls together and works hard to make life brilliant.
This is for the people back at home, and we look forward to be able to share that with them in the due course.
What an amazing evening. And what wonderful winners and wonderful runners-up. Cheers to all the villagers.